So here's the engine bay of John's beautiful 108.
Not detailed, mind you, so
That's alright.
please don't be too skeptical. But all that being said, the engine runs flawlessly. As soon as I got the car, I changed the timing chain on it, which is, you know, always advised. But yeah, it's very interesting. It seems sometimes a bit complicated, but really when you understand how the whole DJtronic system works, which wasn't just exclusive to Mercedes, of course. I mean, I think some of the earlier models were on Volvo engines. But essentially, you have your ECU here, or the engine control module, whatever it's called. But I know the heart of this engine, and it has caused me lots of grief over the years, is this part here, which is the MAP sensor, which is a manifold absolute pressure sensor. And I guess without getting too much into, you know, the whole DJtronic and how it works, it essentially reads the manifold vacuum, the pressure, and it converts it into electrical signal, sends it to the control module, and it works out, you know, how much fuel, and also so essentially just the air fuel mixture, so that you can get optimum engine performance based on load, right? It is very simple, but it is electronic, not mechanical system.
So this is the 3.5 litre V8?
Yes, it's a 3.5 litre V8, yeah. High compression, red lines at 6,500 RPM. Out of the factory, I think it'll be at 147 kilowatts out of the factory. It was actually on a dyno not that long ago at a tech day.
Oh yes, that's right.
I can't remember. Actually, I'm not going to say the figure. It was a bit embarrassing, but maybe I think we got to about 130. I think, yeah, I think it was 130 horsepower on the dyno at the wheels, which translate roughly to about 130 kilowatts out of the engine. But yeah, still not so bad considering this is, you know, so it's almost a 50-year-old car.
Yeah,
and it is the original engine.
It's in remarkable condition for a car that old.
Yeah, well, it's yeah, and that's, I guess, testament to the cars and the way these were built. And I still, I mean, I do have a modern car that I drive as well. But when I first got this, it was just addictive driving it. I put almost 10,000 kilometers on it in the first year of ownership.
Oh, good on you.
I put more kilometers on it than my Volkswagen Golf. Let's keep that between us and the people listening. But yeah, I put more kilometers on it than my daily driver.
Alright, alright. So whilst you were enjoying this and driving it around, you spotted another car.
Yes, I did.
Do a quick swoop round here.
So this is my C123 280 CE. It's the 123 chassis, 1978. So it's one of the very early ones in a coupe. So it's a, can I say, very different car, a lot more refined, I think, and it's maybe a generation or two ahead of the 108. It's still, the coupe was touted as the luxury model of the range. This is a nice pillarless shape, which I find very attractive. Still very original, even underneath these carpet mats. There are still original factory carpet mats under there. Yeah, so the rear seats are also in really excellent condition.
So this car is 47 years old, did you say?
Well, it's 78, so it would be 42 years old.
42 years old, and this is the original interior?
The original interior. I mean, if you have a look at the wood as well.
I mean, I almost don't believe you, John.
It is the original interior. It's one of the owners, not the previous owner, the owner before that, had this car undercover for sure. Otherwise, there's no way you would get the interior in that condition without the car being indoors.
Well, that's right.
Yeah, even the dash, and I think quite commonly you get massive cracks in the dashboard, and this has maybe a couple of tiny little ones, which I can live with. But yeah, it's when I say original, mostly original. I've just had the top of the rear seats reupholstered, Obviously, you've got the some sun, which when you're driving you get some sun damage on the top of the seats, and I had to get those reupholstered not long ago. Yeah.
But look, normally a car, I mean, I've seen cars 5 or 10 years old that have just got wear and tear. You know, they've got scratches down here where things have been put, or keys have been dropped, or kids have scraped them, or whatever.
I mean, don't get me wrong. It's not perfect in, you know.
No, but it's 42 years old.
But it's still, and I like the fact that it's kind of good original condition, including the odometer, which is currently reading 438.
You're kidding.
No, and I put 8,000 of those on in the last year.
No, come on, no.
This car daily.
You've wound that forward, John. You must have wound it forward.
No, I haven't. But look, when I was looking, I wasn't really looking for a 123. I was really looking for a 107.
Of course,
SLC.
of course.
And one of my friends from the club, Colin, has got his beautiful white 450 SLC, and I wanted something like that, but it was just opportunistic finding this car, and I thought, hang on a minute, this looks like a bit of a bargain. Why is it so cheap? This was a year ago, and I think since then the values of these have gone up a little bit. So I got in touch with the owner, and he said, look, you know, it's done 420 something thousand kilometers. I spoke to, because obviously you have to get my wife's permission before we add another car into a garage that doesn't exist. I said let's have a look at it. The price is good, and what if we just drive it for a little bit until it dies?
That's the way to do it.
Right. You know, it's only.
That's the way to do it. It's only a car.
It's only cheap, and I hadn't seen it up until that point, but I got her okay, and I headed on to Canberra. I took the bus to Canberra, had a look, and I thought, you know what, this is actually a pretty nice car. It's very straight.
It's remarkable.
Had very minimal. Whatever rust was on it had been repaired. It had just little tiny bits and pieces that could be tidied up very quickly. I drove it. It hadn't been driven in a little while. But overall, it just felt like a really good car. And
you know,
I drove it straight back, 270 kilometres.
You know, quite often cars this age, they look tired. You know, there's a little bit of wear and tear here and there. There's some sag in the seats. There's a little bit of paint missing somewhere, or a scratch here and there. But this is just for a 42-year-old car. Good Lord, congratulations.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
I mean, look, again, it's not perfect, but there's a few things that I don't know, you'll see probably some commonalities between the blue car and this car. You know, I always look for obviously a good straight body, minimal rust, but the interior usually indicates of how well looked after the car has been in its life. And with its good original interior, you know that it's been kept out of the elements for a bit of its life. Somebody's really taken the time and care to look after it, you know, and these are things that are important. I mean, these cars can go on forever. They're 1 million kilometre engine. That's the original engine, mind you, 438,000.
Let's have a look inside there. I mean, you're nearly at 500,000 as it is.
Well, I'm trying to crack the 500,000. A bit different with the blue car. But I'm just compelled. I need to hit 500,000 in this car.
Oh well, we'll put a Sydney to Melbourne club run in, shall we?
I'd be in. So you'll notice a few interesting things here. The engine bay, again, not detailed. This is just as I drive it, and I drive this almost every second day, where I can. This is a reservoir for the self-leveling suspension.
What?
Yes, self-leveling suspension on a coupe. Apparently, digging more into it, when I first got this car, I had no idea what this is. I thought this, you put your water for your radiator.
Yeah, of course.
So much on your But I know at the time, in looking into it, Mercedes Australia was bringing these out with 123, all the 123s with self-leveling suspension, around 78 to 79. Just so they can properly charge them. But in any case, that's how it was.
All right. Well, thanks very much for your time, John.